Are you interested in investing and have no idea where to start? Well, I'm your money guy, Clark Howard. I'm going to walk you through the 4 steps you should follow so you can get to having that fatter wallet. For most of us, the way you really get this done is you see if your employer has any kind of retirement plan. Because most of us aren't just going to get around to it with the best of intentions. But if you set up with your employer and their 401k or equivalent plan to put money in every pay period, it happens on automatic pilot. And then every 6 months, whatever you start putting in, if you start putting in 5 cents of every dollar you make or 7 cents or whatever, I want you to step that up 1 cent every 6 months. And then steadily over time, you're not going to miss that 1 additional cent, but you'll steadily increase the amount of money you're putting aside for your future, and you'll be living on less than what you make. The second thing is you got to figure out what you're going to do with the money you're putting into that retirement plan. Well, I believe for most of us, you keep it simple. Whether you work at a company that has a 401k or you're doing your own Roth IRA or whatever you're doing, the best place to start putting your money is what's known as a target retirement fund. They're really simple. You just pick the year closest to when you think you're going to retire, and you just slap all the money you're saving into that choice. Because what they do is the manager of the fund takes the money and divides it out based on how far you are from retirement. The younger you are, the further you are from retirement, the more you're really heavily in stocks. As you get closer and closer to retirement, it gets more conservative. The whole key here is for you to have your money put in paycheck after paycheck, well spread out, and for you and me with busy lives, figuring out how you spread that out, don't worry about it. Be happy. Just put the money in and put it in that target retirement fund. Number 3 is to figure out how much you're going to put in. So the reality is, over a working lifetime, if you start in your 20s, in order to have comfort in retirement, you got to put a dime of every dollar you make into a retirement account. If you're not putting that dime in, you're not going to have saved enough money. If you start in your 30s, you got to do more than a dime. In 40s, more than that, and on like that. So no one can go from nothing to a huge amount. And I mentioned earlier, you start putting in what you put in and then step it up every 6 months. But I want you to really think through the fact that the key to having financial security in your life is living on less than what you make. So you start by putting money in, and then you stay on a path of putting more and more in. Don't blow your mind about how much money you have to save. Instead, you tackle it 1 paycheck at a time, 1 monthly contribution at a time, to where you get to where you're putting enough money aside to build comfort for your long term. The 4th thing I want you to think about is once you become an incredible saver at your employer's workplace, what to do next. So my favorite is for you to look at what's known as a Roth IRA, where you put money in a retirement plan that you own that I like for you to do with one of the discount outlets. I've got information on that on clark.com, putting money in the discounters. And you can just parallel what you're doing in the retirement plan at work to the target retirement fund. If you're doing the Roth, you're putting money in it, it grows tax-free, you spend it tax-free and all that, then what would you do next? Well, you think about what are the priorities in your life. If you want to buy a home, if you're trying to save up money to buy a car for cash instead of with a loan, if you're trying to build up a rainy day account, each of these things have an amount of money that would be a great goal to build up. In those cases, that money goes into savings accounts. Savings accounts are best done at online banks where you'll earn much better interest than you would at a traditional bank or at a credit union. It's all about you thinking, what are the goals you want to achieve in your life, and setting aside money to make those goals happen. The goal of these 4 steps, if you'll follow them, is for you to have financial security in your life. I want you to lower the level of anxiety you feel about money and instead increase the amount of financial security you have. I want you to win. If you enjoyed this video, like it, and you could subscribe to our YouTube channel To find more information about investing, I got it for you. Go to clark.com.